The American brand has been dragged through the mud, sunk to the level of a banana republic, where rulers take their political enemies out to the jungle to disappear. This great nation now stands diminished in the eyes of international investors, and the economic consequences for ordinary Americans could be dire. I, like so many others with sizable investments, managed just 2 hours of sleep Thursday night. For now, I have to consider seriously, do I move my money? Chairman of O Leary Ventures and cast member of Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, is with us now. Good to see you, sir. Thank you. Hopefully you got more than 2 hours of sleep over the weekend. Have you moved any money?
I haven't put any money to work in New York. I've come to the conclusion, and I'm a real estate investor, specifically data centers. They're about $3.2 billion investments over 22 years. New York, while it's a great state for power, you can get Niagara Falls electrical power, very, very attractive. I don't think I know of one project going there. It's just too unstable right now. And the policy, the permitting, the nature of what's been occurring in the real estate wars and then the porno wars, it's just, New York's in a different place right now. And
okay,
I'd like to see it settle down. I know I'm not
different. Yeah, fair enough that New York's different. You said, though, the American brand. And that seems to indicate not New York, but going overseas, right? That's not talking about moving to Texas or moving to Florida. You're talking about investing $3.2 billion, asking other people to invest with you. I get that the American brand has been damaged. I'd agree with you. But where in the world is better right now? Where's safer?
Well, the issue, everybody brings their money to the United States of America, and it's still the #1 economy, and it's still the place where sovereign wealth wants to invest for the long term because of the transparency of our system, because of the appellate court system, which generally works things out over time, where there is total trust in the dollar and what backs it up. That's how it works. So anytime you do anything that starts to erode that trust, and it happens in incremental amounts, that's not good. And we don't, in the G7 and the G20, and of which we're members, you could argue we're the G1 in terms of the size of the economy, there has been a long-standing policy that unless it's murder, you don't take the executive and put him in court during his mandate or after it, because you don't want to sully the brand of the office, in our case, the White House, the United States of America. It's not worth it. That's the whole point. It's just not worth it. Now, this case, and I'm not against the jury's decision. I believe in the system. If there were flaws in it, as some have suggested, it'll get called out in the appellate system. But the whole idea of taking a president and what I spoke specifically as it was for me. I was in London, England, trying to syndicate. I'm trying to buy TikTok. Some people know that. I have to syndicate debt and equity for that. I've been all over the world looking for it. I'm getting my ducks in order for Jan 19th when the company has to be sold. When I was in London, Stormy Daniels, porn star, was testifying about condoms, penis size, bad manners. What does that have to do with campaign finance law?
I agree with you. There may be some kids watching, but I understand your point. Your point's well taken. I think about 2016, stars who threatened to leave the United States.
By the way, those were her words in court. She was saying that in court. Those were her words.
I hear you. No, I hear you, and it was crazy. I just was trying to spare our viewers going through it, the trauma of it one more time. Stars who threatened to leave the U.S. if Trump was elected: Cher, Miley Cyrus, Barbra Streisand, Samuel L. Jackson, Amy Schumer. A lot of them said they were going to Canada, where you're from. And I'm wondering if you, as somebody who's an immigrant to this country, might have a different perspective on this, that we, and you rightfully point out as Americans, look at this and go, this is bananas, it's bad for the brand, it taints America, it takes us incrementally closer to just sort of being like everybody else, like Equatorial Guinea or something like that I wrote earlier today. But we're still the shining city on the hill. We're still the best place there is.
There's lots of competition. I can tell you that right now. You can look at the United Arab Emirates in terms of where capital is going. Abu Dhabi is becoming the capital of capital. Every time I go there, I see more and more American private equity guys and hedge fund guys. Look, I raised, and my kids were born in Boston. I raised them there. They're Americans. They live here. One lives in New York. One lives in California. Two states I would never invest in, but that's their personal decision. The point is, we should really think about the mothership, the brand United States of America, and make decisions on a bipartisan basis. I know lots of Democrats are uncomfortable with this Trump thing. I know lots of Republicans that don't like it. I know lots of independents are saying, what did we get out of it? Like, what is the point of doing it? And sure, he should, you know, if he did something wrong with his books, but why don't we wait till after the election? Why do we have to do it now? So it does smack of countries like Cuba, like Venezuela, like banana republics, where it just, half the country thinks this is a very partisan problem. It's just, you know, they believe that this election was politically motivated. That's 50% of the American population. That is not good.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.